Step 18 in going from employee to entrepreneur is all about getting your voice heard. It's great that you've built all these things. You've built the website, you've built your social profiles, you have the domain, you have the brand, you have the foundations laid. Now it's about amplifying your voice and finding your authority in your niche. So I'm talking specifically right now about podcasts and speaking opportunities. There's an amazing network out there now where everyone and their mother has a podcast on the internet. That's a good thing and can play favorite to you if you know how to lean into it and you know how to optimize those relationships. So I'm talking about starting your own podcast, getting booked on other people's podcasts, speaking at events, going to conferences, and building your own podcast strategy. What do you want it to be about? What are you going to talk about? Who are you going to bring in? What's your area of expertise? The foundation that you can lay with a podcast specifically distributing on YouTube and going out to platforms like Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, and all the others is absolutely imperative when you're talking about building authority from a personal brand perspective. This doesn't matter if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're building a home services business, a tech business, AI, doesn't matter. At this point, personal brand is the most important thing that you can invest in over the next 10 years, hard stop, period. As the advent of AI takes over and more people are leaving corporate America to go pursue their side hustles, everyone is going to be racing to build their personal brand and get out of corporate America as fast as they can. We're seeing the mass exodus right now, and we're seeing the gig economy completely take off and totally change the dynamic of corporate America. So the first thing that you can do is think about starting a podcast. It's incredibly easy to do. You don't need a huge setup and a big studio like we have here. We run it as our business and we help a lot of clients do this. But if you're just doing it at home, there's amazing ways to get started. All you really need is a good laptop. All you need is a good mic, an interface, and that's really it, and something to talk about. And then a couple platforms that I would highly recommend that you check out. You can do these from home. You can shoot them right at your office, right from your desk. Worst case, you can use the camera on your MacBook and use the mic on your MacBook. Wouldn't recommend it, but having said all that, there's two platforms that I highly recommend that you can build and run your own podcast from. One is called Podbean. You can go onto Podbean or even Buzzsprout and log in, create your own podcast, upload your video, upload your audio, and it distributes to all of the podcast platforms. So Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and all the others. That's the quickest and fastest way to start your own podcast just with a webcam and the microphone in your laptop. If you feel you have something to say, we've gotten to this point. It's very seamless, very quick, cost effective, and you can go from zero to podcast show host very fast. The next one that we really like to use if we're going virtual and just want to kind of level up, they also do webinars and other types of events virtually, is called Riverside. Riverside FM is an amazing platform for YouTubers, creators, and people to build podcasts, webinars, shows where you can bring in other guests. You can host community events. You can host group coaching calls on very simply. It produces better than something like Zoom or Google Meet would, and it can fully integrate with any microphone or any webcam that you have set up. Makes it very easy to cut up and do things with afterwards. You can host events on it, and it's a really seamless way if you're right past that breaking point you want to scale. But the core things to know are that the video and the audio are going potentially to two different places when you shoot your first podcast. If you download or use something like StreamYard or Buzzsprout or Riverside, you can host basically a Zoom call on those platforms where you have a guest, you have yourself, it's in tiles either horizontally or vertically. You can record the whole thing through your webcam and your microphone, make it look however you want, download it and distribute it. That video then can go onto YouTube. However, if you're doing an audio podcast, you can sometimes post that as the video, but in some cases you have to extract the audio from that video. There are plenty of platforms out there that can do that for you, some that I had already mentioned, but if you have something like a Rodecaster, which is kind of your podcast station and your operating system on your desk, you can very seamlessly get audio that's separate from the video so that you're getting an audio file at the end of that show. You're taking the audio file and dragging it right to your podcast distribution for audio specifically. And then your video with the audio goes right to YouTube, which can be distributed to everything else. So one of the best ways that you can amplify your voice really quickly, build notoriety, build authority, and start to become that voice and that authority in your field is to start your own podcast. Highly recommend it. We've done it here. We help 1 million people do it here. Not literally, but sometimes virtually it seems. But we would love to help you on your podcast journey. If you have questions, hit us up and we'd love to take that journey with you.